What up, world? What up, media? Jorel Sampson Topics. I am Jorel, aka Dre Wise. Good morning to you, and thank you for clicking on this particular topic this early morning. The ones that are up, that's on YouTube, just browsing through videos, trying to look up information, or just listen to music, or whatever you're doing on this social media site called YouTube, because YouTube is basically for commenting and share and subscribe and whatever, you know. Now, I talked about in the introduction of these two topics on my Facebook page. The origin, how I got into lifting weights and exercise. And the other topic is, I always believed in God. In the midst of my ignorance of lifestyle that I used to do when I was in my late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, and stuff like that, you know, because when the days when my brother, you know, Demizi, when he was alive, we was always rolling together. We was always kicking in, going up and down, to and fro. We was all on the west side of Akron, Ohio, just all in this complex called Spring Hill, and we doing stuff we ain't supposed to do. We all in bars, we all in strip clubs. We about to fight some dudes and stuff, and many more memories, you know. Oh my goodness. But in the midst of that, when I was going to the county jail, you know, of my foolishness, I always believed in God. You know, me playing around with women at that time. I had 2 cell phones. I was talking to some women in Cleveland and Canton, and in and out relationships and back and forth, this and that. Oh my goodness, you know. So yeah, I just want to talk about that, you know, the origin, how I got into lifting weights. And I always believe in the creator that is named Abba El Shaddai. Abba means Father, God, Jehovah. El Shaddai means God, Jehovah in heaven. Now, people that are into Islam would say the proper name is Allah. And they say, well, the Jews call him Jehovah, whatever. Well, I think of this way. He said, I am all that you call me. I am Jehovah, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, Yahweh, and Allah. There is one, you know. So if I say that to a Muslim, he has to respect that, you know. So he says, I am one. I am Allah. I am Jehovah. I am Yahweh. I am Rapha. I am Nisi. I am. So a man like me, I don't take part in religion, because religion is based on control. It's nothing but a title. And God does not separate people like that. Religion separates people. So I'm going to talk about these topics, how I got into lifting weights, the origin of that, and I always believe in God. Okay. How I got into lifting weights. Okay, see, I was always raised around men. Like my father, my aunt's husband, categorized as my uncle, my cousin, you know. And my mom, she would always, you know, when the days when my mom was with my father, you know, they was married. When they was younger, it was always, you know, exercising together, jogging, you know, stuff like that. So it was already in me already. Now, I've been shown this. What a man, what they look like. My father was a massive man. My uncle, my aunt's husband was a massive man. My cousin, Brandon, he was a big dude. You know, the family called him Boo. So this is what, as I start coming up, this is what I think a man supposed to look like. So when I got to the age of 14, 15, I was always doing push-ups and sit-ups and calf raises and things of that nature, you know, until when we was living in Cleveland, my mother said, well, she was on the phone talking to whoever she was talking to, and we were staying somewhere in Cleveland, you know. So my mom, she moved us around Cleveland from, you know, Tarkenton, Lee Road, and Kisman and Orangefield and out of Cleveland. My mom was on the phone one day. She was saying, you know what? I'm going to buy and purchase my sons a weight set. When they get 18 years old, they're going to start lifting weights, you know? So I said, I didn't pay no attention to it. I'm just going in the living room. At that time, it was a cartoon called Johnny Quest. And Johnny Bravo used to come on a particular network called Cartoon Network. Johnny Quest is a long, old school cartoon, you know, because I've been brought up in the 90s, you know, raised in the 90s, you know. So my mom was on the phone saying, I'm going to purchase my two sons a weight set. Okay, so when I got older, in my teenage years, 13, 14, 15, I started doing push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups. I used to go to the park in our complex and our neighborhood, you know, just find somewhere I could just do a pull-up, you know. So I noticed I started to change. When I went to school, you know, that was more dominated by white, as in Stowe, Ohio. So this white girl was like, oh, you're really buff at the age of 14, 15. She's like, you're really buff. I'm like, thank you, you know. So I was always doing push-ups. So one day, my father came and picked us up, you know, from Cleveland. He lives in Cleveland Heights. He picked us up and he showed us. He went down to his basement. On my dad's basement, he got Dre's gym. So my dad taught us, me and my brother, how to lift weights, the bench press, how to do the proper bench press and curl and basics, you know. So in my mind, I thought by seeing these men, my father, my aunt's husband, my uncle, and my cousin, they were big dudes. So this is what I thought a man's supposed to look like. It's like if a child kind of been raised in an abusive household, and that child seen his father beat his mother. He knows it's wrong, whatever, or whatever the case might be. He think this is what a man's supposed to do. In that case, the child that witnessed his father beat his mother, that's totally wrong. But some men come up like that, like, I'm the man, and you know. Kali Muscle, we all know who Kali Muscle is. Kali Muscle said, I've been raised around individual men in my family, and they were big buff dudes. And he said, this is what I think a man's supposed to look like. I said, damn, excuse my language. I said, we similar in a way, but not similar because Kali Muscle, he went to San Quentin, you know, and spent like what, 10 or 11 years, whatever, and got out. Now he's an icon in the fitness world, you know. I think Kali Muscle he's pretty funny, you know. He make his top ramen and bop, 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 bop. So I feel the exact same way because I've been raised around men that were big dudes. My mom dated a man. At that time, she was like, what, 20, 29, 30 around that time. This man, her boyfriend, I think his name was, it was so long, I forgot the man's name, but he was always in the living room doing push-ups, you know, always in the living room doing push-ups. So I noticed when when I got older, she purchased a weight set, a weight bench, and got me some weights. So I started lifting weights, and I was in my mother's basement at the time. I was living with my mother because I was going to school, 16, 17. Then I moved out like when I was like 18 and a half and been on my own ever since. So I was always in my mother's basement, lifting weights and find this little frame thing I do pull-ups on and things like that nature. So I was always around men, like I said, that were big dudes, So I thought in my mind and what I've been seeing, that this is what a man supposed to look like. So true enough, I drifted away from that, like close to 11, 12 years, and I got back in shape, lifting weights, and I go by within myself, that is muscle memory. So my philosophy of exercise is much different from anybody else. So yeah, that's the origin that, how I got into lifting weights and building muscle, and I've been doing this now since I got back on it, like going on 5 years, and things of that nature. So I think exercise, we all can agree, if you look at it, exercise is addictive. It's like a drug. You get addicted to it. It's like you become a gym junkie, So yeah, I like to have a workout trainer, not a workout trainer, but a workout partner, or I can have a trainer that, he can show me different things and stuff, But the trainer that I would choose is my father, because my father, he is well wise. He is well wise when it comes to building muscle. My father, he's he's like around 49, 50 years old. He still look good for his age, That's who I would choose to be my personal, trainer or train me or whatever, because I'm still thinking about pursuing bodybuilding. So, yeah, that's how I got into the lifting weights. My mom and my dad, they was always exercising. So I unlocked that certain attribute of gene of interest to get into it, So, and my uncle, he was a big dude. He had real big calves. And my cousin, he was playing football. He's still like 6 something, and real big. So me, I'm more of a smaller man, like in height, like 5'9" or something like that. So yeah, that's the origin of how I got into lifting weights. Cause my people, a little bit my mom's boyfriend, my mother, and things of that nature. At the age of 13, 14, 15 years old, I was always doing push-ups. Okay, I always believe in God. Now, like I said, in the midst of my foolishness, my ignorance, buffoonery, at that time, when I was going to the county jail, drinking and smoking and hanging out with my brother, and we all everywhere acting a damn fool, we getting drunk, we rapping, we making music, and he in altercation and all that stuff, we all on the west side, and we fall asleep on the metro bus, and they gotta wake us up like, hey, young men, wake up, gotta, in the midst of that, I always believe in God. In my mother's house, I've been raised in a religion that is categorized as a cult, that is the Jehovah's Witness. And that's a Christianity group. My mother used to sit with us when we was younger, me, my brother, and my sister. She would always go over with us the books of the Bible, from Genesis all the way to Revelations. She would do like a little quiz on us, and she was like, tell me the names of the books of the Bible. And that book, it was the New Translation Bible. That's the Witness's book. It's a difference between, it's the same. The New Translation Bible and the Holy Bible. Only difference is the pronunciation, like thee, thou, and the, all that stuff like that. But within the Holy Bible, Jehovah is in the index, says, see Lord Yahweh, Jehovah. And their Bible is Jehovah, okay? I've been raised in a religion called Jehovah Witness Christianity religion, which is a slave religion, oppressed religion. Now, my mother, she did the best she could. She did a good job raising us, you know. She, like I said, she will always go over and read to us the Bible storybook and the Bible, and she said, okay, now, y'all tell me, what is the names of the book of the Bible, the books, from the new, from the old to the new. And we would nail it every time. Genesis, Leviticus, Number, blah, 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 blah. Now, we used to be babysitted at the babysitter house. She would go with that for us too. It's like, okay, y'all, what is the book? Name all the books of the Bible. We nail it. As I got older, I stepped away from that, you know. Then I started dating my son's mother, and she goes to the church, and I think they are Baptists, so I don't know what Christianity they are. I start going to the church and hearing the pastor preach. Now, I've never been in a church. Now, that was forbidden for me to go because my mother found out. She was like, what, boy? So, and then as I grew up, I always believed in God. I went to church. Then when the sisters in the congregation gave me a Bible to go home with and read, I just put up in the closet on the shelf. And then, so one day I said, I'm gonna read the Bible. So I start reading the Bible, start going to church, and stuff. Then I thought, I said, you know what? Why is everybody separated? Why is everybody separated in Christianity? I said, long story short, got out of that. So I go to church. Then I went to the mosque. Before I went to the mosque, one of the Muslims, they're not the nation of Islam Muslims, they're something else. They separated too. And I went to the library, they gave me a Quran to read and study. Instant, I opened it and started to read. I was reading the Bible and Quran. And I went to the mosque, to the nation of Islam. Within that certain religion group of Muslims, they are Elijah Muhammad's followers. Now, since Elijah Muhammad is absent, Farrakhan taken over. Excuse me. So when I was 24, 25, I thought about joining the Nation of Islam. I thought about it until I started to listen to Malcolm, and I said, nah. And then I started. It's not like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But I still started coming and arriving there, you know. And I thought, like, this is religion, you know. And I thought to myself, I said, well, God don't separate people like that. God doesn't separate people like that. So true enough, I do agree to what Farrakhan say. I do agree to Elijah Muhammad. I do agree to Malcolm X. I do agree. But they need to preach on separation of religion, that religion does to people. But within that religious group of Islam, Muslims, they got to realize that there were white people that were helping us in slavery, that was going and being killed and going to prison for us. They don't preach that. Malcolm didn't preach that. Elijah Muhammad did not preach that. Farrakhan did not preach that currently. But Malcolm went to Mecca and said, wait a minute, there's white Muslims, there's black, there's this. That's true. But the thing is, I stepped away from coming to the mosque. The Nation of Islam mosque. I agree with them brothers are saying. I agree. But I have a different outlook of things, So I can talk to them brothers, I ain't gonna disrespect them. I ain't gonna disrespect their teacher, their leader, Elijah Muhammad. No. I ain't gonna disrespect Farrakhan. No. But it's based on religion as title, because Islam, I'm gonna tell you something right now, Islam is the way of life. Islam is the way of life. You see, religion twists things around, and man uses religion as a tool to his own understanding and things of that nature. The Bible has been rewrote. We all know that. One book has not been rewrote, is the Quran. But I always believe in God that someone has created this that you see out your window, everything. But I do not take part in man's title religion. I do not. I'm a believer in God. I always believe that Jesus did walk. Moses walked. Noah, Solomon, Saul, all the men, Samson, all the men walked before. Because when he flooded the earth, he had to start with one man's family to make more of this that you see. That is Noah. So like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening, and thank you for viewing. Jorel Sampson, aka Dre Wise.